Hey everybody, I am Michelle Smith. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're not. In today's video, as you can tell from the title and the subject, I want to talk to you about self-care. Now, I know you've heard the saying that self-care is not selfish. That indeed is very true. Truer words have never been spoken. However, how many of us actually really make time and an adequate amount of time for self-care? I know for myself, as a special needs mom, I have a very different perspective. I have to really be very diligent to make time for my self-care. And the one way I do that is by planning it. I don't think that you can do anything with enough veracity or enough frequency without actually taking the time to plan it out. I am a paper planner, and I choose to use paper to plan because it is more customizable than planning in a digital fashion. In addition to that, if you're anything like me, planning with a digital or an app is, if you can be desensitized to like the alerts and the sounds. Like for me personally, it could tell me like, go get a massage, and I'll go, okay, yeah, and forget all about it. However, when I'm looking at my paper planner, this book right here, this is my paper planner, my planner. It's pretty thick, but that's because it encompasses more than just my schedule. This encompasses my entire life. And I have to say that I have never been as organized when I use something digital as I am with using my paper planner. And that includes my self-care. It encompasses more than getting a manicure, a pedicure, a massage. All of those things, yes, are a form of self-care, but self-care also includes your home, upkeeping it. Because when your home is out of order, or when your finances are out of order, it can really mess with your mind. It really can mess with your peace, your emotional and your mental health. So I'm just going to share with you how I track my self-care. And because while you want to plan it out, you also want to track that you actually did it. Because it's very easy to say, but yes, I do self-care because, you know, I scheduled a massage back in June, and then I also got, a haircut in May and all these things. But like, maybe you had to reschedule it or cancel it, and you actually didn't get around to doing that. It's not that easy to remember these things, especially when you have a lot going on like I do as a special needs mom. So I'm always tracking my son's appointments, and I'm tracking like what happens and the outcome of those appointments. I'm also tracking like his medications when he has seizures. I'm tracking when his medications change. I am tracking when I take him somewhere and we have mommy time. All of those things I'm tracking in my planner. But just as important as those things, I have to also make sure I'm tracking my own self-care, because it is very easy to forget. Like, you can become scatterbrained when you have a lot going on like I do. I'm going to now switch to the overhead view, and I want to show you in my planner how I track all of my self-care activities. Some of it may be new to you, some of it may be things you're already doing, but I'm hoping that me creating this video will spark some ideas and creativity for you to also prioritize your self-care. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier in the video, I like to keep track of my self-care in my paper planner. And so this is the section of my planner where I keep track of all of my self-care activities. So starting with my habit tracker, I have basically laid out all the habits that I would like to develop and continue to work on as part of my self-care. So for example, vibrosculpt. I'm going to do a video about this in the future, but it's basically a DIY self-massage that it helps me to smooth out my skin. Making sure I get 7 hours of sleep, exercise, journaling, praying, drinking my apple cider vinegar, cleaning. All of these things are part of my self-care. My devotional, washing my face in the AM and PM, flossing. These are all different things that you can track on a habit tracker sheet such as this. And I can leave a link to this down in the description box below if you're interested. I like to track on a monthly basis versus a weekly basis, because weekly you have to print out more sheets, and that's just more paper and ink consumption. But monthly I can get an overview glance of all the habits that I would like to keep track of as part of my self-care. Another part of my self-care is journaling. I created this morning journal for myself. Monday through Saturday is usually what I do. Sunday, I'm in church, so I'm not really doing the journaling. But it's just a simple way of me just getting in touch with how I feel, why I feel that way. So this sheet allows me to just keep in touch with myself to see, like, am I reaching all of the goals I have for myself as far as getting in contact with my feelings. And then at the bottom, there's just some quick self-care exercises that I can choose to do throughout the day just to help me just for a few minutes or a few seconds in a day, like attending to my cuticles or doing a stretch or a breathing exercise. Every week is pretty much the same thing. Sometimes I'll switch up the little self-care exercises, but for the most part, I have a choice. This is not something I do every day, but it's just something that reminds me to do something for myself every day, even from the smallest thing to the bigger things. Now, this is one of my favorite sheets that I created. I will leave links to all of these down below, but essentially this is a weekly wellness tracker, quite different from the other two in that I keep track of a sleep score. I have an Aura ring, which tells me a lot about my sleep and my heart rate variability, my fitness levels, my exercise and activity, like how much I'm moving. And so even though I can track that in the Aura app, I like to also see it on paper. So I will keep track of my sleep score versus going back to the app and having to scroll through each day to see how my sleep is doing. Now, this current week that we're in, my sleep score has started to decline, I see. So now I can see, hey, you need to prioritize sleep. And then here's my mood, a section for that. And then what I'm doing as far as exercise. So I know that, hey, I'm getting my exercise in. My weight, my starting weight has gone up a lot. I am on a weight loss journey, but I've had significant setbacks due to personal things in my life. But this lets me know also, hey, your weight is creeping up. You need to prioritize healthy living. So that's just another way that I track my self-care. And then I have an appointment records that I schedule when I schedule my appointments, how, I can look at this and say, oh, the last time you went to the doctor for, urgent care was here. And so, okay, you're doing pretty good. You haven't had any urgent visits. Or the last time I went to see my internal medicine doctor was here. You need to make an appointment. And then here is where I keep track of some self-care reminders. The last time I did certain things, the last time I got a colonoscopy, the last time I got my teeth cleaned. All of these different sheets are things that you can create or buy, and they're custom tailored for you to track all of your self-care activities. So for me, I find it very beneficial to do this all on paper because, as you can see, all those various sheets that I use, it is impossible to do that kind of detail. I mean, you could do the detail, but I find that when things look pretty or when things look designed in a certain way, it makes me prioritize them more, which an app, technology, while it's greatly helpful, it cannot do that for you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you in my very next video. God bless you.